Hello everyone, this is Joe W. Today, I'm doing a brief review on Now 100 Hits Forgotten 70s and Now 100 Hits Forgotten 90s. Both albums came out in 2019. The Now Forgotten 70s logo looks really cool. I like the fact it's in purple. It's in front of the night background with some colourful stars, blue and pink. Really cool. I also liked the Now Forgotten 90s artwork. It looks really cool as well. The logo is in front of some binary text zeros and ones. I like the green colouring on this one. Let's get to the track lists. Here's the back covers for both albums. I'll look into it when I open it up. On the right we get an advertisement of a no longer existing Now app. Disc 1 has a good variety of tunes from the 70s in different genres as well. I have favourites on this disc like Goodbye to Jane, Jukebox Jive, and recently coming one of my favourites, Baby Jump by Mungo Jerry. Yeah, a lot of good selections, although one song I wouldn't really call forgotten is Get Down by Gilbert O'Sullivan. I thought it was one of his popular songs really, but there you go. Follow Now music on all social medias. Disc 2 has another good variety of songs. Of course it starts with It's a Heartache by Bonnie Tyler, may she rest in peace. I have favourites on this disc like Can't Give You Anything But My Love and Love Machine Part 1. We like these ones. I'm surprised Mojo Doe by Lieutenant Pigeon did not make Now Yearbook 72. Here's more of the background on the right. I have some favourites on this disc as well, like Airport, Substitute, Blame It on the Pony Express, and Now Is the Time. Yeah, another good selection of songs that gets overlooked in the 70s by other popular songs. Discs 4 and 5 also has a variety of 70s songs in different genres that often doesn't get remembered by other people. Disc 4, I have favourites like Teenage Rampage and All of Me Loves All of You. And Disc 5, my favourite on the disc is If You Think You Know How to Love Me, which I really liked more over the years. We get some double appearances from some artists like Lindsay DePaul, Stylistics, and The New Seekers. Although, 3 songs on these discs, I wouldn't really say it's forgotten, like Jack in the Box by Clona Rogers, which was quite a popular UK entry for Eurovision. Of course, Vicky Lindros, Come What May, won for Luxembourg in 1972, so debatably if you've forgotten. But disc 5, the other songs I wouldn't really call forgotten are Donna's All Kinds of Everything, which was the first Irish winner for Eurovision, and Welcome Home by Peter Lee. I thought it was quite popular, really, but there you go. Yeah, a lot of good selections of songs, although some can be a mixed bag really, whether songs that I have really liked or found okay or not really into. Here's the same advertisement on the right. Here's Now Forgotten 90s Disc 1. I have favourites on this disc like Ain't No Doubt, Reach Up, Papa's Got a Brand New Pig Bag, and Where Are You Baby? A lot of great variety of 90s tunes that some people may not remember. Oh, and by the way, the version of Dupe by Dupe on this disc is an extra vocal version. Here's the same social media advertisement on the right. Disc 2, I have favourites like Adam's Groove and Guns' cover of Word Up, which was my favourite version of the song, by the way, a brilliant rock version. Another good variety, although 2 songs I wouldn't really call forgotten are S Club 7 and S Club Party. I thought that was a really popular song alongside Crisscross Jump, which is a very popular hip-hop song. I think Lucky You by Lightning Seeds didn't actually make the top 40, but, it's still a good choice for this album. Here's more of a cool background on the right. Disc 3 has another good variety of 90s songs. I have favourites on this disc like Got to Feeling, I've Got a Little Something For You, Got to Get, Life, and also Beautiful South, Perfect Time, which I thought is one of their more popular hits. And becoming one of my favourites recently is Scatsman by Scatman John, which I found a brilliant guilty pleasure, really fun catchy tune. I know scat and dance can be an odd combination, but I like this one more over the years. Here are discs 4 and 5. I have favourites on disc 4 like Tetris, Good Enough, Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through, and Tell Me When. All brilliant underrated classics to me. And disc 5, my favourite on this one is In Betweener by Sleeper. Now, Gloin, I can't pronounce it, by Perez Prado, re-entered the charts. I forgot why. Maybe an advert. And 2 songs I wouldn't really call forgotten are Much Man This Way and Feel It. I thought those 2 were quite popular songs. Of course, we got the original version of Tequila by Television. Of course, more people remember the Mint Royal Shot version, though the original version is not often remembered, but I'm glad that's there. Disc 5. Now, the other two songs we've called forgotten on this one are How Bizarre by OMC and Sunshine After the Rain by Belly. I thought those two were really popular back then. We have two mistakes on the album. Now, when Now first released the track list, Queer by Garbage and Ooh La La by Wise Guys have been selected, and they're both on the album itself. But for some reason, a week later, Straight from the Heart by Doolally and Something Good by Utah Saints were going to replace Queer and Ooh La La and are listed at the back cover, but they stuck with the original songs in the end, which is very confusing for people, which I thought was quite a big mistake for now, but you know. Here are discs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for both of these albums. We like the colours and designs on these discs. Overall, Now 100 Hits Forgotten 70s has a good selection of 70s songs that either gets overlooked by other popular 70s songs or doesn't often get put on compilations. Yeah, a good variety of those songs. Although I like Now Forgotten 90s better, it's one of my favourite Now spin-offs. A great variety of 90s songs that either gets overlooked by popular 90s songs or doesn't often get put on compilations. Not all forgotten, but still some good selections. I do like the 90s better than the 70s, but still really good for what they are. That's my brief review on Now 100 Hits Forgotten 70s and Now 100 Hits Forgotten 90s. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next video.